Scared the butterfly away there, Bonbon. While we're waiting on the greenhouse to be delivered, I'll give you a quick update on the things we've done already. The plants I've been collecting have reduced in number because they've gone into the woodland. I have pulled out quite a lot of my squash because they weren't getting anywhere and they're curing in the house. Leeks are doing okay though, they're actually growing quite nicely I think. And we've had a few green beans, so I didn't miss the boat entirely. And would you believe the cosmos is finally deciding to put on some flowers. We did a little clear out. As you can see, we're starting to clean out the old greenhouse. There's a lot of grass, a lot of holes, a lot of rubbish in here. But we're going to cut back these tomatoes now, because even though they've got loads of fruit on, we just need to get on with this job. Well, as you can see, there are a million tomatoes on the floor. Some of them are rotten, so I'm not going to bother with them, because we have got a whole bucket over there and at least a quarter of a bucket there. But as you can see, it's not entirely done because we do want to pull these slabs up, put gravel all over the floor because it does get quite wet in here apparently. And we need to fix the glazing panel up there to stop it raining in, that would help. But we've moved the old tomatoes out and now we've got a bench on this side. Right, we're going to harvest the sweet potato. I've never grown them before. This variety is called Beauregard, which is a common one in the UK. That one's sticking out, so I'll use that one for slips if we've got more than one. The leaves are starting to die back, which apparently is when they're ready. Ooh, I can see some babies down the side here. There is more. I may not have watered them enough. Oh, there's one. There's one. That looks normal. Curly one. Lovely. Nice. Oh yeah, that's nice too. Nice. We'll keep all them together. Oh, there's more than I thought. Actually, I thought I was only going to get like 2 of these or something in a pot. So these are some of the sweet potatoes that I harvested, which I'm going to keep for making my own slips next year. That is quite leaky, isn't it? It's just coming off the glass here. So as I say, this greenhouse is a bit decrepit, but it's still a useful storage space if we can avoid the drips. What do you say, Bon? Is it a good storage space? Is it? Yeah. I've put some gravel in the hole. I don't know why the hole was there. But let's have a look at the raised bed, because these have come on leaps and bounds. I'm quite impressed with these, to be honest. Look at the size of the pak choy. Aren't they beautiful? They've come up wonderful, and as have the spinach and the radish in the middle there. So they're doing really well. I'm quite impressed with those. Put cloches on because we've had a couple of frosts. Under here we've got some kale, some mibuna and some chard. I'll just prop them up a little bit during the day because it is still getting warm during the day. It's just a bit cool and damp at night time. And under here we've got a hole which looks like a mouse hole, possibly there. I'll have to check that out. But we've got lettuce and calendula coming up and some spicy lettuce mix. But also my chives have actually germinated. They're not covered. They didn't fit under the plastic cloches. And the strawberries are doing well. We've finished loading it all up now. The garlic and onions are on the way, so I'll be planting those shortly. Still have quite a lot of strawberries. Can't yet decide whether to put those in here and just make this end strawberries with garlic down the middle as a companion plant, or whether to put my raspberries in there. As I say, the leeks are doing fine. The garlic chives are still going great. And these yellow raspberries are really tasty. There are a few new canes here that have come up, so I think I could repurpose these. They're all seemingly autumn fruiting. But yes, the zinnias are still going strong. There's still loads of buds. We have had a little frost, but it hasn't killed them off yet. It was only a light ground frost. That's a lot of boxes to empty, eh? A lot of boxes. While I'm waiting on the chap unloading the greenhouse, I'm going to prick out these plummy coloured cornflowers into individual trays. I am absolutely gobsmacked how big these roots are already. Well overdue, even though they haven't got proper leaves yet. They're still only seed leaves. They've got really long roots, so I probably could have done these last week, to be fair. I sewed these foxgloves last week and look, they're already up. Beautiful. I am going to sew these hellebore seams. I collected these from my old garden in May 2024 and they were a dark purple hellebore, really dark purple. And as you know by now, I love a dark purple. They actually look like mouse droppings, but they're not. Right, well, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of soil over the top of these because they're fairly big seeds. Okay, that's them labelled and watered in. They just need to grow now. Although these plants are relatively hardy here in the UK, if I put it in a pot and we have a really, really bad winter, I can at least move it into the greenhouse. I just can't decide which one. I've got 3 of these kind, one red, one lighter green with the red stripe, and then that palm there. I think that's going to need a much bigger pot, and I have got one at my mum's house, which she's very kindly just emptied for me. I have put some crocks in the bottom, it's not all compost. Oh, it's got quite good roots on that, hasn't it? I would like to top dress with some gravel after I've filled in with compost, so that's leaving a bit of space for gravel topping and watering. So that'll be perfect. And backfill the compost. There we go. I will water it in and I'll put some gravel dressing on the top just to keep the weeds out. Just enough to settle the roots in. It's not going to be frosty tonight, so it's not going to hurt it. It's making some chutney. We've got some tomato chutney, which is tomatoes, apples, onions, sultanas, sugar, vinegar and spice bag. That's going really well. It's been cooking. It's probably got another hour or so. And this is tomato and chilli jam. I'm using my lemon drop chilies. So I'm drying a few out here. I got these from Real Seeds. The whole idea of Real Seeds is that you save your own seed for next year because it's a limited supply. But yeah, my husband thought because they were yellow they were going to be like quite lightweight. Turns out they're quite hot. So we're making this chilli and tomato jam, and it's in Pam the Jam's preserve book. I do recommend Pam the Jam. She also wrote, along with Hugh Fernley Whittinstall, the River Cottage preserve book, and there's some fabulous recipes in there. Yeah, it's starting to just catch a little bit now. But these were like all the tomatoes that we took out of the small greenhouse. Right, well, the tomato and lemon drop chilli jam is now jarred. We only got 2 jars out of it. The chutney, I think, is ready to jar now. Morning all. Today I was hoping to be filming the finishing of the greenhouse, but Storm Amy came along and put paid to us actually getting that finished. So I won't show you the greenhouse. I'm going to tease you with that for next week. So instead I thought, while there's a gap in the rain, I would get into this little greenhouse and show you what we've been doing and get some more things sown. So yeah, the coriander's doing really well. The nigella's grown loads. In here I have planted my dogtooth violets, which are destined for the woodland. If you missed the woodland video, I did that last week, you can catch up later. But yeah, so I want these to start growing first because I've planted and mulched and everything, so they will go in the spring when they first start showing signs of life. I have got some bulbs here that I dug up out of a pot that I've reused. So I've got a ton of tulips and things to sow, and still loads of things to go on the other side of the woodland, but I also have got quite a lot of seeds to get sowing. I brought the apple tree in because I haven't got around to planting it yet. And this is my newest blueberry, which is called Pink Lemonade. That's looking quite good, but obviously that needs ericaceous compost and a big pot. The other blueberry is losing its leaves, but they do that in the autumn, and it's not as big as that one. This is my last lemon drop chili. I cleared all the others out, but it's still got quite a lot of fruit on it. And this is our workbench that we've put in here temporarily. It's been used for greenhouse building mostly. Here's a little glimpse of the greenhouse in the background. Such a tease, eh? It's going well so far, is what I would say. The instructions are truly dreadful, but despite that, the quality of the greenhouse is really good. So yeah, I'm going to go and find some seeds and we'll do a bit of seed sowing, provided the greenhouse doesn't fall down around my ears. And this is our friend's dog, Sansa. She is a red fox Labrador, and she loves nothing better than playing ball with you. Do you, Sans? And she's fast, despite the wind. My two are already puffed out, but Sansa will keep going and going and going like there's no tomorrow, bless her. But I've got to do some gardening now, sweetie. I have retrieved my seed, one of my seed tins. I would like to say this is all my seeds, but actually this is all my flower seeds. I have bought a few more things from my prairie meadow that I mentioned in the last video. These are all grasses, so we've got ponytails, prairie drop seed and Chinese feathertop fountain grass. Right, I got a few trays and some covers for them. I'm going to sow them in individual seed trays and then prick them out into cells later. The damp and warm is getting things romping away quite quickly. So, okay, I will just tamp that down a little bit just with another pot. I'm just going to sow directly into that, I think. And I'm going to start with this prairie drop seed. As I say, these are all grasses because I want to do... they're directly in the paper packet as well. And there aren't that many of them. I don't know if you can see them in there. I want to do a sort of matrix prairie plant, and that includes lots of grasses. There are a few left in there. So, teeny tiny yellow seeds. I'm just going to lightly... To be honest, if I had some vermiculite, I'd probably put that on instead. But I haven't got any at the minute. To my way of thinking, if they were outside, self-seeding, they would just fall on the ground. There wouldn't be vermiculite and loveliness. They'd just fall on the ground and seed where they landed. The next one is Stepia tenuissima ponytails. These ones are really so fine that they're in a little bag. We don't want a gust of wind blowing them out of my hand as I'm sowing them, eh? It's the thing about grass. I mean, they produce a lot of seed themselves, so why you get so little seed is beyond me. Can you even see that? That is all of it as well. Let's not waste it. Again, we'll just put a little sprinkling. Right, the last one is feathertop Chinese fountain grass. This one grows to 60 centimetres with a spread of 50 centimetres. It feels like the seed is just in the bottom of the paper envelope this time. Yep, they are. And there seems to be a few more of them as well. I find this so therapeutic, just spending, if it's just 10 minutes to be honest, in the greenhouse. Right, okay. I'll put some soil on those and then they'll be done. I will mist them first, I think, just to make sure the top of the surface is moist. At the moment I'm not going to stand them in a tray, I don't think. I'll just let that soak in, and then in a couple of days time, especially if it's warm, I will come and stand them in a tray of water and bottom water from here on in, because the seeds are so fine I don't want to risk dislodging them with my watering can. Okay, so next I'm going to do sweet peas. I've got the Beaujolais, the purple ones from the National Trust, and I've got some DT Brown Kupani sweet peas, which I grew last year as well. So there's just a few left in each of these. But I'm going to start them off in these enormous root trainers. And then hopefully by next spring, these ones will be way ahead. I will sow some in the spring as well. Fill these up. These root trainers are also from Container Wise. I showed you some of the smaller plug ones that I use for smaller seeds, but I love the fact that there's a poke hole at the bottom for you to get your finger in to push the roots out. Press them down, because then you'll find out if there's gaps, air gaps underneath. I'm going to put 2, if I've got enough seed, in each of these, and you can thin out the weakest if that's the case. Little dibber. So what did I say? 1/2 inch. I'm going to poke a little hole, or 2 in this instance. Put 1 in each corner. I know what I'm like, so I am going to space these out, and when I say thin them to the strongest plant, I won't. I will try and salvage both of them. Oh, that's very satisfying. 3 rows all gone. That's good. I think I've actually got a label made up for that one already. There's probably too many in here. If there is, I'll make up a little pot. There's only 5 too many, so I'll find a pot and put all of those around the edge of one pot. Water those in. They probably won't need much water during the growing in the autumn, unless you have a really hot autumn. You don't want them to rot, you just want them to start growing while it's warm. Okay, that's them done. Hello everybody, it is now the next day, believe it or not. You probably can tell, to be honest, because the sun is shining, the storm has passed. So I am just heading up the garden to the big shed to see if I can find some plant pots for the multitude of tulips that I seem to have ordered. The purse strings are firmly closed now. I have got to make do with what I've got. So the first thing I need to do, of course, is find some pots. Are you trouble down there, are you? Are you too trouble, are you? And here comes Bella, my old girl, just coming to see that the babies are being well behaved. I'm taking you into the big shed, which I don't think you've been in, to be fair. I wish this shed was down the bottom, to be honest, because it's a fabulous shed. We've got the lawnmower in this side at the moment because the garage is full of greenhouse. So it is in compartments. There's a section in the middle with a doorway and a wardrobe, as you do. So that is one end. Let's have a look. So this is the big end, the bigger of the two ends. And as you can see, we've got packing boxes still in here, which are mostly garden things. And I've got some solar lights. Actually, if I put them in the sun and get it charging, I can use them in the greenhouse later. This stuff came from my dad from his allotment, so I've got some insect mesh and some weed barrier stuff. Troughs and big pots. Hold on. What have we got here? It's a bit ugly though, isn't it, for tulips? These lower ones would be nice. They've sort of got a self-watering reservoir in the bottom. For the smaller daffodils, I could use those too. I've got some more root trainers, they'd be quite useful. Not the greatest haul, 2 pots and some little trays for sowing seed. What are you 3 up to? Looking suspicious. The sun's gone in again. It's in and out faster than you can blink. Yeah, so my next job today is to finally cut down all of these tomatoes. They are pretty much finished. I don't know about you, but October always seems to be a really busy time of the year. I've still got a mountain of jobs to do, but I think I'm going to leave you there because otherwise you'll be here for a month trying to keep up with all the things I've got left to do. I've still got a big list of hedge cutting and bulb planting and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, in next week's video, I'll hopefully be showing you the greenhouse build. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. It's much appreciated. Thanks for watching. See you next week.